Today, I want to show you a list of some of the worst degrees in the Kenyan job market in the year 2024. And sometimes once we say this, people take us for people who don't want people to pursue some degrees. But truth be told that there are some degrees which are very, very useless. And that is why I've decided to do this video highlighting 10 of the most useless degrees in the Kenyan job market. Because the reason as to why I'm saying the Kenyan market, you might find that these degrees are applicable in other countries, and that is why I've said that it's in the Kenyan job market. So make sure that you realize that. So number one, there's a degree which is called chemical engineering, and that is one of the worst degrees in the Kenyan job market, with a good name and with a high cluster points for entry, but you find that you are not able to get a good job once you finish that degree. And the reason for that challenge is because Kenya as a country, we are not properly developed, fully developed in the engineering field. So you might find even other courses related to chemical engineering. Those are food science technology, chemical engineering, all those courses related to engineering, even biological engineering and related courses, which are called applied sciences. Most people get stuck with those degrees, and I would not advise anyone who I have best interest with to go and pursue that degree. So chemical engineering, I know so many people are doing that course in the university. The best bet for you is to be able to become an academic writer or a writer for articles which are related to chemical engineering, because otherwise some people are not able to do write-ups related to chemical engineering, because obviously it's technical stuff. Number two is journalism and mass media. This is the reason why journalism and mass media has become a problem, is because everybody nowadays has a smartphone. Everybody is a media house by themselves. And another challenge, which is the biggest challenge, is that media houses in the country, they usually employ people who do not have journalism and mass media communication related degrees. And that is because they're able to get what we call cheap labor in comedians, influencers, and those are not people who have taken courses in chemical engineering, in journalism and mass media. And that is why the people who take that course, despite the fact that they are fully qualified, they are professionals, they are not able to get to compete with the journalists, with other influencers or comedians in the job market. And the media house, understandably, wants to generate some profit. So the reason for them to employ comedians or influencers is because they want viewership, they want listenership. So they want someone who is captivating, as opposed to you, a person who has done a professional course but is not able to captivate and engage the followers or viewers the same way this comedian can bring viewership or listenership to this channel. I know there are different ways you can monetize your journalism and mass media degrees, and I'm not downplaying that fact, but the wider public, the biggest number of the people who graduate with a journalism and mass media degree, they want to look for a job in the media houses, and that is the starting point, and it has been a problem. Many years ago, people used to go to KBC, for example, which is a national broadcaster, whereby they used to get internship, their first job. Then they progress slowly to other media houses like Citizen, KTN, and nowadays that is not happening. If you listen to most of these radio stations or TV stations, you'll find that most of their presenters are actually not people who are qualified to be able to host that show, but because they have an audience, then again the media house is forced to balance because they want profits, so they have to forgo the journalism degree or mass media degree and take this person who is a comedian. I'm not saying you cannot monetize that degree. For example, for someone who has a smartphone, you can use yourself, you are a media house by yourself. And with that degree, you can decide to start your own media house and start making podcasts different ways. Just look for equipment, look for a background like this one, customize your studio a little bit, then be able to start making political podcast, lifestyle podcast, different things, which again you can monetize through your own way without necessarily relying on being employed by a media house. And number three is a degree which is called food science and technology, which again is a degree which is closely related to number one, which was chemical engineering. And food science and technology is a degree which, again, the cluster points, they are so high for most people. But at the end of the course, even before the end of the course, at the time of looking for internship or what we call attachment, that is when you realize that the degree you took is not a good degree, because you will struggle with getting even an internship, because most of these companies which make our foods, the big companies, I don't want to name names, they do not necessarily employ people who have done food science and technology to man our QA, to man our quality assurance laboratories in those. They just train someone and pay them some small money to be able to work for them. So you find that people who have done professionally food science and technology degrees, they are stuck in the limbo without knowing where to work, without having a job opportunity, because now the places where they are supposed to work, those jobs are taken by other people who are not necessarily qualified. And if they manage to employ you, even if when by good luck they employ you, the amount of money they'll pay you as a salary again leaves a lot to be desired. So I would not advise anyone, be it my friend, be it anybody, to go and do a food science and technology degree. I know I'm saying this with the knowledge that I also pursued an applied science course, and I have not been able to earn even 1 shilling using that degree. Number 4 is something called sports science. Bachelor of Arts, Sports Science. Bachelor of Science, sometimes they name it Bachelor of Science, Sports Science. But basically, I would ask you, if you do this degree, where are you going to look for a job? Are you going to compete with the coach for example, the football matches in your area? You're not able to compete with them because they are qualified by way of experience, and you are relying on your theory to be able to penetrate the job market. So you'll not compete properly with someone who has been in the field, maybe being a coach, maybe being an advisor in a team, maybe being in the technical team, the technical bench. In Kenya, you'll not find the teams employing technical teams to be able to guide or to steer these teams, maybe football teams, basketball teams, maybe athletics. Will not be easy for you to penetrate the market. So even if I find my brother or my cousin or my neighbor with a calling letter for sports science, I will dissuade them from going to pursue that course. Look for another course. You'd better do a diploma, you'd better do a certificate, you'd better do a craft, which you can monetize easily and be able to penetrate the job market easily, as opposed to doing that degree or diploma in sports science. And number 5 is a degree called actuarial science. And I'll give you a short story about actuarial science. Actuarial science, sometimes back in the early 2000s, was touted as one of the best courses for people who had passed so well their KCSE, or Kenya Certificate of Secondary School Education. I don't know what you call it in different countries. That was touted as one of the best courses, and it was a choice for most people who had scored well in that exam. So many people tended to go and do that degree because they were told that you can get jobs in the UK, jobs in different countries. But later on, they discovered that it's not easy to penetrate the job market, because most companies where these actuarial scientists are supposed to be working, they're not actively recruiting those people. The best you can get is a job in the insurance sector as an underwriter, or other definitions of job, which again will not fit what you studied at the university. So if you find someone with a calling letter for actuarial science in a university, dissuade them. Just tell them do something else. You'd better because I know someone who has a calling letter for actuarial science is someone who has passed in sciences and mathematics. You can advise them to go and look for another related course. You better do computer-related courses like IT, computer science. Apply for those, then you'll be able to get a job easily. Even if you don't get a job, you'll be able to work for yourself, start your own company, and start building, for example, applications or websites for people with your computer science degree. Then number 6 is theology. I know this is a raw nerve for most people, because theology is basically related to religion, and most people want to pursue their passion. Maybe you say, Jackson, my passion is to be a preacher, so let me pursue theology, then I'll be able to see how I can get a job as a pastor, as a reverend. And that is not happening currently, because one thing, Kenya, I know we are a religious country, but the challenge is that our churches are not regulated. So you'd find that a church is being operated or run by someone who has never even stepped in a class to do a theology degree. And because they have their passion, they have that, what we call it, a gift. They call it a gift. You as a person who has a theology degree, you are not able to penetrate the job market. And that becomes a bottleneck for you, and you're not able to get a job. So I would dissuade any young person, but any person for that case, to from pursuing a theology degree at the university. You better do something else, but not theology. The other degree, which is number 7, is a Bachelor of Science Criminology. I don't know whether it's Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts Criminology. That is a good name. The degree has a good name, but for you to be able to penetrate the job market, it becomes very hard. And whenever I tell people not to pursue that degree, they usually tell me, if I do that Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts in Criminology, I will try to penetrate in the job market for disciplined forces. And you know the criteria for selection for people to who want to pursue a career in the disciplined forces, maybe the army, maybe the police, maybe whatever you call them, maybe even the intelligence service. The criteria used is not a Bachelor of Science in Criminology, unless you're already in that field. That is why I would advise you to go and pursue that degree. But if you are a freshman, you're fresh from a secondary school education, I wouldn't advise you to go and do that criminology degree, because at the end of the day, you will lack something to do with that degree and you will be stuck at home. And we don't want you to be stuck at home. Choose another degree. You'd better downgrade and do a diploma, which again will give you better chances of securing a job once you finish that degree. Number 8 is a degree called hospitality. And this is where the rubber meets the road, because once you do a degree in hospitality, you'd find that most hotels and restaurants and the hospitality sector establishments, most of them, they employ people who have never gone to even the university, people who have never gone to get a diploma, people who are just working there because of their experience, because of their relationship to the owner of the company. So you, as a person who has done a degree in hospitality, you'll be expecting to earn good money with that degree, but nobody will employ you. Most of our restaurants, they are poorly run, and the human resource sector is controlled from other senders. So someone who's looking for a job with a degree in hospitality, there are slim chances of you getting a job. Otherwise, if you want to get into the hospitality sector, you better do a certificate in, for example, food and beverage, then climb the ladder slowly. And once you start growing, now you can do your Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts in hospitality. I don't know whether it's Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts, but basically hospitality as a degree, I wouldn't advise my younger brother or my younger sister or my friend or my relative or my neighbor to pursue a degree in hospitality. Number 9 is a degree in nutrition and dietetics. And I know this is a degree which is highly marketed in our universities. But challenge is that there aren't many establishments absorbing people who have a degree in nutrition and dietetics, because one, our hospitals, they do not even employ a nutritionist. And if you go to our hospitals, chances are that level 5 hospitals, you'll find only 2 nutritionists. So as someone who is looking for a job as a nutritionist, it will be a hard sell. It will be a hard nut to crack for you. So I would dissuade you. I would advise you to look for another degree, because I know by the time you are taken to do a degree in nutrition and dietetics, your grades are not bad. So instead of that, go and do a diploma in a different field. If you're interested to get into the healthcare sector, you can do either a degree in diploma, in clinical medicine, nursing, farm tech. All those diploma, they are not badly off. You'll not struggle a lot as compared to someone who has done a nutrition and dietetics degree. The other challenge with nutrition and dietetics is that there is a board which is supposed to regulate nutritionists and dietitians in the country, but that body is doing very little, even if it's doing anything. And they are requiring you to do yearly registrations, and it's not cheap. And they are not championing for the place of a nutritionist in the healthcare sector as it should be. So that brings a whole big problem for these people who have done Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics. And there are so many of them who are struggling to get jobs. I know the NGO sector is absorbing but a few, but the biggest majority of the people who have pursued this degree, they are struggling with getting jobs. The other degree I wanted to talk about is physical education. The abbreviation for physical education is PE. So, you pursuing a degree in physical education, you are basically limiting yourself in terms of a job market, because there's no place for physical education or educators or what are PE in the job market, because I'll even wonder where you'd be looking for a job once you finish, because unless you go to where, I don't know, I even don't know. You can tell me in the comment sections where you can tell me anything, but you can tell me where in the world, where in the country you'll get job with a physical education degree. Okay, and the last one, which is a bonus because I had decided to talk about 10, is animal husbandry. There are so many, but I'll finish with animal husbandry. That is a degree in many universities. I don't want to name names. People pursuing those degrees without knowing that as a country, we are not growing in terms of agriculture, because the momentum which was set sometimes back for our agriculture, at some point in time, we lost that momentum. We started doing away with our veterinary establishments, where we used to do chemistry research, where we used to do our research in I don't know what you used to call it, for livestock. We finished that sector, and chances of you getting a job in that animal husbandry degree would be very slim. So I would advise you to pursue that degree unless it's your very big passion. Otherwise, you can tell us in the comment section what you find, what you think about this whole thing, what you think about the degrees we've talked about, and what you think can be done about these degrees. Otherwise, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share it to at least one person, but ask in the comment section so that I get to answer you, and you can watch another video which I'll link here. Thank you.